And thanks for staying with us here on Breakfast Central. Now let's go straight into the meat of the conversation. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, yesterday elected 2 candidates to fly its ticket for the September 2024 governorship election in Edo State. The 2 candidates, Philip Shaibu, the incumbent deputy governor of the state, and Asue Ighodalo, emerged in a parallel governorship primaries that took place in Benin City, Edo State capital.
Shaibu was declared winner with 300 votes, while Ighodalo was in another primary that was held at the Samuel Ogbemudia won with 577 votes. The governorship primary committee, led by Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal, said that a total of 594 delegates were elected to participate in the primary, while 585 delegates were accredited to vote. Announcing the final votes, Lawal, the chief returning officer for the governorship primary, as well as the chairman of the committee primary, said Asue Ighodalo scored 577 votes, while his closest rival, Philip Shaibu, scored 1 vote. Well, let's delve into the conversation with our guests. First, we are joined by Barrister Andrew Enwanta. He's the former Commissioner for Communication and Orientation at Edo State. Good morning, Mr. Enwanta. Thank you for joining us.
It's glad and good.
All right, good to have you here. We're also joined this morning by Ose Aneni. He's a PDP chieftain. Good morning. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to the show, gentlemen. So I think I'll start by saying congratulations to the both of you for having produced, 2 winners of the PDP gubernatorial elections. I'll start with you, Aneni. I'm sure that you're excited about what exactly happened, but for those of us on the outside, we're a little confused. There's Shaibu, there's Ighodalo. What exactly happened in Edo State yesterday from your perspective?
I'm laughing at the fact that Andrew accepted your congratulations. Last I checked, he was an APC member to resign. what ties him exactly to Shaibu? But I think congratulations are in order to Philip Shaibu. He took part in a contested primaries, and he managed to score 1 vote. It's a huge task, a huge achievement, and I think we should celebrate that. But more seriously, though, I do need to push back at the media. When you introduce a segment and you say, a candidate was declared, Philip Shaibu was declared, and we have 2 candidates, it sort of, I think, builds to the confusion that, people who don't understand the political process might be experiencing. Political parties are not figments of our imagination. They are built and established by our constitution, the party's constitution, the Electoral Act. Primaries are, guided by guidelines issued by the parties. So when you say, for instance, and it's a challenge I want to set to you, when you say he was declared, who exactly declared Philip Shaibu? What I saw in the clips that went viral on social media after we had just finished our own primaries there was a protest around GRA that came to Philip Shaibu's gate. He welcomed his people, and he emerged about 30 minutes later, declaring himself the gubernatorial candidate of the PDP. And it's important again to stress that primaries are not one-off events. We have world congresses where 594 delegates are elected. The venues of the World Congresses are specified by the National Working Committee of the PDP. In this case, it was all the World INEC coalition centers. When the 594 delegates emerged, if you have any appeals, there's an appeal process which all the 9 aspirants at the time submitted petitions to. And it was dealt with. And then the NWC came out and ratified the list of delegates that emerged from the World Congresses. Then these accredited delegates then take part in local government congresses where 18 national delegates are elected. Again, the party specified INEC LJ coalition centers. Again, the party specified the electoral officers. Again, the party specified the date and the time and the venue. And then 18 local government national delegates emerged. Again, there's an appeals process. Again, the NWC went through the process with these aspirants and ratified the 18 national delegates. We now come to the primaries, where all the 574, I think, ward delegates and the 18 delegates, in total 594, then come out to elect the party's flag bearer. The party issued the list of accredited delegates. The party specified the time. The party specified the venue. It wasn't just the Ogbe Stadium. It was the lawn tennis courts at the Ogbe Stadium. The party specified the chairman and deputy chair of the electoral committee. It was the governor of Zamfara and it was the governor of Delta State. And I'm sure you guys all saw the videos of them returning Barrister Asue Ighodalo as the winner of the congresses. So it boggles my mind, and this is me being serious. Now, it boggles my mind when I hear journalists come out and say, we have two candidates. And again, I'm asking the question, who specified that Philip can conduct primaries in his backyard? I have kids, and sometimes you see them playing in the back garden, and they're pretending to be king and queen or police and robber. You know, anybody can gather in a democracy and say anything. But if you want to take part in a political process, you must be guided by our constitution, the Electoral Act, the party's own constitution, and the guidelines of the process that you want to take part in. So I can say that Barrister, let me just land on this point. I can say that Barrister Asue Ighodalo's primaries ticked all these 4 points. And I'm asking you, if Philip can even point to one point that ticks, whether his delegates were accredited by the National Working Committee, whether his electoral returning officer and chairman were approved by National Working Committee, whether the venue and time that he purports to have conducted his primary was specified in the National Working Committee, then we can start to take him seriously. But if he answers no to every single question I pose, then please, I beg you, we should be a little more responsible in our reportage.
All right. First of all, we'd like to say thank you for your points. But then again, we'll also like to share that the media equally has a responsibility. And our responsibility is to ensure that we inform just as the situation indeed unfolds. Now, you've been able to break down...
Listen, my brother, absolutely.
I'm coming. You've made your point.
You can't, but I would urge you to just say, Philip Shaibu is purporting to be the candidate. You have that responsibility, I agree. But fine. Please don't come and say that the PDP has two candidates, because we don't.
That's fine. That's fine. So if you were watching the show from earlier on when we started, right here in this studio, we did make an assertion, and that assertion is something we think the political parties and also all companies must take very seriously: communication. Because at that time when your announcement was indeed made, the announcement made that, okay, Philip Shaibu is indeed carrying out his other elections, his primary somewhere else. And then, of course, you do have Asue Ighodalo, Dr. Asue Ighodalo, who has emerged as the PDP winner. We always say that it's very key that a circular is indeed out. And most importantly, if you need to carry out a presser, it's very important that you do that. Because I'm sure you're not just going to hold News Central responsible, but if you take a look at all the media outlets, you would also find out that there's a different reportage that's ongoing. And the beauty of this is that we have you here live to now clarify it. So taking a swipe at us, I don't think that's, I'm sorry, but I'm going to say I don't think it's the right, I think it's the perfect thing is we're happy to have you here and you are here to clarify. And that's exactly what the media does. We're able to look at what's happening on the right, what's happening on the left, and then of course we have you to clarify.
When you talk about the gap in communication, I absolutely agree with you. I think part of the frustration for us in PDP Edo State, and for me as a member of the Asue Ighodalo campaign, is that primaries are conducted by the National Working Committee of the party. So Edo State PDP cannot issue a presser. Team Asue Ighodalo's campaign cannot issue a presser. It has to be, it has to come from Abuja. And so, fair point you make. The party could have been a little bit clearer and faster in responding to Philip's claim that he's the candidate. But ultimately, the results will go to Abuja. At the NWC, again, there's going to be a process. And I did speak to somebody in Abuja, and I think part of the problem is that there has to be an appeals process. And so the party cannot even come out and declare anybody returned until appeals have been dispensed with, even though Barrister Asue has been elected at the primaries. There will be an appeals process. When that is dispensed with, then my candidate will be handed his well-earned party flag by the national chairman of it.
You've asked some very interesting questions today, and good enough, we have Andrew Nwata here who will be able to hopefully answer those questions. You asked who announced him as the PDP governorship candidate, and you asked who gave him the authority to be able to conduct primaries. And I'm hoping that Andrew Nwata can give us a clearer picture as to exactly what happened. Mr. Nwata, are you here with us? Okay,
need to unmute, I guess.
Your device is muted. Please unmute.
Yeah, thank you. I want to start by first saying we are in constitutional democracy, and my friend and younger brother Asue took his time to tell us the history of Nigeria, how this election went on yesterday in a very smooth manner. And he may not know that last year he contested primaries in a parallel, election. Ask him, is there true or false? He lost. The other candidates from the other side, the governor's side, won. His own faction went to court over this delegate issue, and the matter dragged up to the Supreme Court. So why is he behaving as if what we're having here is a novelty? He talked about backyard and the rest. The venue of the election is such that in a situation where delegates, the court gave an order that PDP and INEC should show cause why 381 delegates should be excluded. I'm a lawyer, an officer of court. As I speak to you, this is the court order. So it's not a case of, as he's trying to paint it, they went to Edo Stadium. If people who were supposed to be part of an election were excluded, there was so much security. The stadium was sort of militarized. The deputy governor was even not given access to get into the venue. He's not one of the aspirants. The same way they prevented him from entering his office. News Central and other media houses reported that. It's either we are ready for democracy or we are not. But because the matter is in court, I would not want to go into the details of what the court will say, right? Because at the end of the day, what we had yesterday was a situation where there were two parallel primaries. We had the one of Obaseki organized in Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium, and there was the other one that took place after those 381 delegates who are in court, who said that they are the valid delegates, they went through the process, they have their results, were prevented to avoid a fracas. A faction of the electoral panel, of course, knowing fully well that these delegates, based on the court order, because the court order was served on PDP on the eve of the primaries, which of course most media houses reported. INEC was in court and INEC conceded, right? I will not say much because as one of the lawyers in that case, it is for us to allow the court to decide. When parties choose not to follow their guidelines, when parties choose to take sides, and I'm happy that the APC have learned from the mistake they made the other day, and they have corrected themselves. It's a former American president, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, that said, an error does not become a mistake until we refuse to correct it. And I just hope that the PDP will take a cue from the APC. They have started the process of correcting the mistake that was made previously, of having more than one candidate. And I believe this morning a declaration will be made. And in saying that, I must quickly say that what we don't want in Edo State is for Obaseki to leave government on November 12, 2024, leaving a surrogate behind, or for Adams Oshomole to impose somebody who he wants to benefit from as if he's the governor. So there's not going to be any third term for either Adams Oshomole or Godwin Obaseki, because we understand they have a sort of political MOU that head of tail, one of their candidates will emerge. Because there are a lot of people who are tired, and I say it again, we are tired. We want to take our own destinies in our hands. So because this matter is sub judice, I will say that PDP at the moment has two candidates, and it is only a court of competent jurisdiction that will make a pronouncement. And
I want to quickly clarify,
they were right to reporting both sides.
I want to quickly clarify, Mr. Nwata.
As a fourth estate of the realm.
Yeah, I want to quickly clarify what court order you said you have in your hands, just to clarify.
There are two court orders. The first was issued last Friday for parties to show cause. Only INEC came to court to show cause, and PDP refused service. And because they refused service, the court now issued another order on the eve of the primaries for them to be served the court process by substituted means, which of course was effected on the eve of the primaries. And as such, we'll be going back next week And that is where the battle line will be drawn. If PDP as a party is above the laws of Nigeria to disobey a valid court order, and if those persons who were excluded were properly and validly excluded.
Okay, Mr. Nene, do you have any response to that?
I have a lot, and thank you guys for asking my brother what court order he refers to, because I have the court order here, and he holds no court order. He was brandishing it across your screens. He holds no court order where any judge in Nigeria has said that the party cannot hold primaries.
Okay, can we quickly zoom into the court order that he has?
I'm happy to let Andrew have a second to read the judgment of this, the order of the court where he said the party should not go ahead with its primaries. He cannot do that because all he has is that the party should be served notice so that we can come and explain why his order should not be granted. So you are a lawyer, my brother. Please don't. I don't know if it's intentional or
because he's making very grave allegations. And profound respect, Asue Ighodalo. You are not my professional colleague, one. And secondly, I cannot come on national TV.
Okay, so let's try to bring in some. So let's try to bring in some order. Mr. Nene and Mr. Iwata, I'd like to please ask, so that we can give everyone, Mr. Iwata, a moment, please. So we can give everyone adequate time to clarify what they're saying.
So there isn't a court order. Secondly, I conducted parallel primaries.
Okay, Mr. Iwata, please hold on so Mr. Nene can speak. Thank you.
Let me finish. There isn't a court order restraining the party from conducting primaries. And my brother Andrew knows that it's not possible because even the Electoral Act 2022 says no court order or judgment of process can stop a political party from conducting congresses or primaries. The second thing is that I took part in primaries in 2022. My primaries were witnessed by INEC. My venue was the party-specified venues. And it was the national, but we didn't have the national. And the courts have well held that it is a national party that conducts primaries. And so we went to the Supreme Court and that was established. And I accepted it in good faith. I didn't decamp from my party. I didn't do anti-party. I also need to make the point that because I was at all the world congresses, I was at my world congresses, that document that Andrew held up, I wish you hold it up again. One of the litigants is Gabriel Okodowa. He's my brother from Ward 3. He took part in my primaries. I have video of him. So I don't understand this thing when we just, because we lose, we don't win a process, we just want to throw everything and burn the house down. That's not the PDP nature. And Andrew cannot come on national television because this is a national platform and claim that the deputy governor was denied access to the venue. The only people that were allowed to access the venue were accredited delegates and aspirants and electoral officers. Asue Ighodalo was there, Omosede was there, Atosene was there, Jofel withdrew, I think Ogbedihama also withdrew, Asue was there. Shaibu did not withdraw, so his name was on the ballot.
All right, Mr.
So I don't understand this point where there's a claim that anybody was excluded, because not only were these people there, they actually came to campaign to the delegates. Anslem spoke, Omosede stepped down, Atosene spoke, Onaiwu Osara was there, he spoke, everybody spoke. So please, let's not push out, propaganda and claim it's new. It's not the PDP way.
All right.
My candidate has won a primaries. His main task, his first task, and he started last night, is to unite the party, and he has started meeting all these aspirants. If you truly care about Edo State, if you truly care about the PDP, that has to be our primary concern. Okay, uniting the party so that we can head to win the September 2022 election. Okay. I don't know what hat my brother Andrew currently wears. I know he's one of the lawyers in one of these cases that he's showing. I pray, because he truly is a fine mind. I pray that he joins us in the PDP so that we can continue to build this state.
All right, Mr. Iwata, I know that you wanted to react, and thank you for giving Mr. Nene the floor. Please, it's your turn now.
Yeah, thank you. I'll make 3 clarifications. I will start with the last statement he made. He said he does not know my heart. Of course, I said it here that I'm one of the lawyers. It's not something people like us are afraid to say. And that's why, as a lawyer, I will start by first of all educating him. When you hear a court order, it's not all court orders are restrained. Don't be in a hurry to conclude. An order can be made to show cause. The moment a party goes to court, it's a new device under Order 26, Rule 11 of the new Federal High Court Civil Procedure Rules. Because of the way and manner, all manners of injunctions were gotten in the past, in the wisdom of the leadership of the Federal High Court, they introduced new rules. And that particular provision has to do with where you know that something is about to be done and it has an effect on you. The court gives you the opportunity of applying ex parte for that person to come and show cause. The effect of that is as good as telling the party, don't do anything until you show cause, right? And it is in your place to serve a copy of that order on the offending party, which we have done. INEC was served and INEC was in court, right? I will not come here to comment on things I don't know anything of. I'm a lawyer and I'm the lawyer in the matter. My friend is not within my profession to not tell me that, oh, there was no court order. You don't make those kind of statements, those kind of eschatological statements, much as you are marketing Asue Ighodalo, marketing very well, but you cannot come and do the work of a lawyer. If I'm not a lawyer in that case, I will not go into the fact that an order was given. And that's why, if you notice, I've not even gone into the main gist of the case, because it's wrong for me to do that. I'm not saying that my own clients will win the case. They are 381. Is that not a huge figure to determine the outcome of an election? So why the haste? APC made the same mistake, but they were not quick in concluding that this person must be the candidate. The president of our party, or rather the president of the country, who is the leader of our party, intervened. The party leadership also said, this process is not complete. We have 2 candidates, or 2 persons laying claim to the candidacy of our party. So we must do the right thing. There are many other technical issues that I cannot raise because this matter is in court. I will not, because PDP has not entered appearance. My brother is trying to take facts away from me so that the lawyers on the other side can use. I will not do that as an intelligent person. So because the matter is sub judice, it's better we allow the courts to decide. And that's why even when INEC is to accept lists of candidates, if there's a court order, they will put it there, court order.
Okay. So
Asue Ighodalo, I'm happy he joined the party towards the end of last year. We are welcoming him to the party. Last year, we had about 5 litigations. Osaneni was on the other side. Coincidentally, I was on the side of the governor. But it appears we have exchanged roles. It's now on the side of the governor. Not that I'm on the side of anybody, because I'm a lawyer. And as a lawyer, I'm doing my professional work.
All right.
So it is not for to say things it does not have fact.
I'm asking you now in your capacity as a lawyer.
Because if the primary election was restrained, I don't think Philip Shaibu would have gone ahead to have his own. So
all right. So Mr. Nwata, can you please hold on for a minute? What are the next steps now, from your perspective? I mean, I'm asking you as a lawyer, what are the next steps from here for Philip Shaibu, for the PDP, from where you stand?
The matter is sub judice now. When you say next step, they're in court. It is for the court to now decide.
Okay.
As simple as that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so Mr. Nini, for you, my question simply is, what are the next steps as well for your party? You do have a winner now, you do have a candidate, and the way forward simply is what for your party?
I just want to say I'm happy that my brother Andrew has, aligned with my earlier position that we weren't restrained from holding primaries. And he absolutely is correct. I really am not interested in, what the 381 people are asserting in courts. I have full confidence in our judiciary, and I think justice will be served. I also didn't go to court the last time, again, because I am a true party man. And when I lost out in the process, it left a bitter taste in my mouth. But like I said, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. And I aligned again with my party, and I went on to take part in presidential election. And again, I'm taking part in a political process because I truly believe that if anybody wants to push forward significant societal change, the largest lever we have is politics and governance. And so the next step for me, like I said, and for our campaign, is we need to understand that the party is not as united as it can be. And so we are taking steps to meet all aspirants and leaders who are, for whatever reason, unhappy, either with the party or the leadership of the party, And, we're making the case that, this time around with this candidate, things will be different. And it has to be a collegiate, collective affair. Because the issues facing the state, simply because we are located in Nigeria, which is struggling, as you all know, people are suffering. We go out to the markets and, you can see the pain and suffering on people's faces. Not only is it that, you see that traders are losing customers because customers no longer have the resources to buy stuff. But even when you buy stuff, because you can see what's happening with the Naira, they can't even restock. So you go into a warehouse and a market, and it's like an empty warehouse or a ghost town because people simply cannot afford to eat. And away from politicking, away from litigation or bantering, and this is an appeal to Andrew and to everybody out there. Forget Nigeria. Edo State cannot afford to fail. And we need to sit down, as people who mean well for our state, to decide that, this time around, because things are so dire, because the conditions are so severe, we need to put aside, petty grievances and partisanship and find a path for prosperity for Edo State. And Dr. Asue Ighodalo has articulated that path several times. It's one that, anchors on security and putting people into jobs and putting money in people's pockets on education and access to healthcare. And things as simple as transportation. It's simple and it's complex because we have limited resources in the state. I think once you back out salaries and pensions, we only have about 7 billion a month to take care of everything. And a kilometer of road, if you are building a budget road, is ₦1 billion Naira. So how much, Auchi, from Benin to Auchi is almost 200 kilometers. So how many kilometers of roads can you build with the Edo State budget? So we need to start thinking of creative ways that we can find money to solve the problems, the immediate pressing problems of the state. That's what my candidate is focusing on. I truly, Andrew, I'll come and find you. I know you're in Benin. We really need to put our heads together and figure out the way.
I think I must be given the same opportunity to talk.
Of course, your final thoughts, but as quickly as possible, so that we don't yank us off air.
Spent a millennium trying to explain certain things. I'm a politician, so I'm not just a lawyer.
Okay.
He's asked the question that if I'll come and join them in PDP, I cannot join a house that is divided against itself. I initially said I was leaving APC, and the reason why I started that process was because of the way and manner the election was being conducted. But I'm happy that my party really has taken steps. And by the time the results are announced this morning, my board chairman has refused to accept my letter of resignation. And if that candidate I was supporting, who was initially declared, is the person that emerges, I will have to review my initial position. And I hope PDP will have a candidate because the APC, if I return to that party, is the party to beat. Because we are tired of Obaseki's 7 years of speaking grammar, of importing things from Lagos, of using things from Lagos. But he said in 2020, I do not be Lagos.
He said if you return to the party, that the party is the party to beat. If you don't return to the party, will it still be the party to beat?
No, definitely. If the right thing is, and I think the right thing was done when Mr. President intervened, APC is my party. You can say you want to resign from a company and your manager will say, no, we think you have the potentials to do what you have started. It's a journey, and I'm ready to go that journey with the APC because I realize that in Edo State, it is lies, propaganda, and lies. And we cannot continue with that because Asue Ighodalo is a business partner of Godwin Obaseki, so we don't want Obaseki to have a third term. And if that's the reason why I'll come back to APC, I think that's a worthy cause.
Very interesting. I think your summations are indeed rife. I wish we had more time to dig in so we can get more explanation, especially what's happening in Edo State. But finally, not longer.
Please, before you finally, he made
our
something
time is up. Go ahead. Very briefly.
Very briefly.
He said Asue Ighodalo. No, he's made a statement. He's a lawyer. Asue Ighodalo is Obaseki's business partner. Can he expatiate on that?
You know what? Well, let's do this. Let's have both of you back. If you agree to give us your time on Monday, we'd like to have you back on this platform. Please don't respond to it, Mr. Nwata.
I can't be the host on this show. If he makes such a serious claim, he should prove
That's why we'd like to leave it hanging and anchor on that until we come back on Monday. Please, let's have both of you back again.
Slander people on national television, please.
Mr. Nini, please give us your word that you're here on Monday.
If Andrew gives us our word.
Mr. Andrew, give us your word. You're here on Monday. I trust you'll be here because you're a man of your words that you're not going to leave APC, and if you do, they might be the party to beat. Thank you so much for joining us, distinguished gentlemen.
I'll be here to explain on Monday.
All right.
Okay, thank you
for
much.
having us.
And when likely is APC to announce its candidates, please? And one time.
This morning, please. This morning.
Okay, fingers crossed. We'll be waiting.
With suspended attention, we are waiting. Now we are going to celebrate. And Nigerians will celebrate.
Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today on Breakfast Central. We wish you the best. More importantly, we wish Edo State all the best.